So, last time BG was here, we talked about Orlando Anderson and that whole situation.
SIP.
And BG, you and Orlando were like best friends. Were you and Orlando close?
Man, before Orlando got killed, Orlando was just in the car driving around. I just went and got some drum machines that this dude left in the pawn shop while he was in prison. Orlando was trying to build a studio, so I told him about the drum machine that he had in the pawn shop. So instead of letting the drum machine get lost, man, Orlando just went and purchased them for him to put into a studio. This was like maybe 2 or 3 weeks before that incident happened.
When he got killed?
Yeah.
Okay. Before he was killed, though, before the situation in Vegas happened, there was the death row chain incident. Did you know about that?
We were actually on the road a lot at that time. I think we were going. Like when I'm in the neighborhood, that's one of my people who will pull up looking for. You know what I mean? And I pull up looking for him when I go in their neighborhood. So we used to. Then they had it was other little things going on to where it wasn't cool for me to be in the middle again of certain things like that.
They were South Side.
Yeah.
And you guys were Nutty Block.
Yeah, but we was NSA.
But we the homies. Our hoods is
Oh, so it was you guys were
we clicked that.
Yeah, we used to walk when we started gangbanging. When we first started some of our journeys, we used to have to walk to certain neighborhoods that we was cool with. That was one of the neighborhoods that we actually some of the people before us fought them, but we ended up walking and becoming tight with them just from walking the streets together. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how far we go back with Southside and Atlantic. We used to have to walk from your neighborhood, past your enemies' neighborhoods and everything else to get to your own neighborhood. It wasn't driving cars and everybody had a car, none of that type of shit.
Did you know Keefe D?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you guys close?
I mean, I know him just as much as I know anybody else in the streets of Compton.
Got it. Okay.
And somebody I know and him is actually real tight, and I used to go over there to somebody my mother, been knowing all her life. I've been knowing people all my life. I got family members that all grew up in all, on my father's side, they all grew up together. They all like family.
The situation happened in Vegas where Tupac was killed after the altercation with Orlando. Since the time that you and I, BG, had that interview, the Keefe D tapes came out.
Right.
I think we had talked about them.
We did.
We talked about them, but they weren't out yet. There was just some text.
Yeah, it was just some text.
Like
we read it here last time. Yeah.
LA Times, I forgot what it was. There was text.
Right.
I think you were the one that put me up.
Yeah,
up on
remember
it.
you pulled it up.
Yeah,
last
I pulled it
time,
up.
Yeah.
But then the actual audio came out. I interviewed Greg Kading.
Yeah, I remember.
You saw that interview? Where he laid out the whole story behind how those tapes came together.
Okay.
It's not a deal, it's an agreement. It's known as a proffer agreement. And he's given the opportunity through a agreement between his attorney and the United States attorney to evaluate whether or not it's in his best interest to cooperate. And so that was the arrangement, that he would sit down and tell us everything we wanted to know about anything we asked, and that he had to be entirely truthful, or else he would be charged, not only for the drug crimes, but for potentially his own confession.
Did you hear the Keefe D tapes?
Yeah, man, I actually was, I did. I listened to a little bit of it. I don't try to feed into too much of none of this shit, though, man. Like I said, I've been through enough shit to where nothing surprises me, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised by nothing about no person on this earth right now. You know what I mean? So, what purpose does it serve me to even feed into it? You know what I mean? I don't really pay too much mind to it, man, because it's all stories at the end of the day. And don't nobody know but the people involved in God at the end of the day.
You heard the Keefe D tapes?
Yeah.
What did you think when you heard them?
I mean, they was incredible. Like, it's like he said, it's like, it was hard to even fathom listening to him saying what he was saying, like, and that's why I said what I said. Like, I just think that was like real suckerish, man, because that was your nephew at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Your sister's son that you pretty much raised, you know what I mean? And for you to, and I know he dead and all that. I was just shameful, man, because his mom didn't like it. My little brother is married to Baby Lane's sister.
Y'all don't understand. I just was at a wedding with Keefe D.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so our little adopted brother, who we adopted pretty much, is married to Orlando's sister. You feel me?
So it's all intermixed.
Yeah, so it's like his mom wasn't with him saying that stuff, because that's her child. You know what I'm saying? Why would you leave that type of stigma on his name after he's gone.
No.
Whether it happened or not, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll be honest. Everyone who I've talked to off camera, and I'm not going to say any names because this was all off camera, private conversations, but everyone essentially from Compton, associated in any type of way, even before these Keefe D tapes, even before these movies and documentaries, had always told me that it was Orlando Anderson. Had always told me that the most obvious story
Yeah, it was a rumor,
is
though.
what
I
it
mean,
was.
yeah,
That's the most obvious rumor. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The whole thing of, oh, Suge set him up and everything else like that, I always thought was stupid. And in fact, I even interviewed the first responder cop that showed up there.
I think so. I think I saw it.
You know, and he even described how
When I came up in the car, I could see that there was bullet holes all in the side of the door. Their bullet holes were kind of right around the handle, and there was also one or more in the windshield right in front of the passenger side. So I was approaching on the passenger side.
I guess the car had been shot 13 times.
You know, I couldn't tell you the exact number, but there were definitely multiple hits on the car.
You talking about Las Vegas, man. You know how much money was floating around at that time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how many what they call it? How many false what they call it? False flags could have been said anything. I don't know. I don't believe in none of this shit.
Yeah,
man.
listen.
If I wasn't there to witness it, I don't try to speak on it.
You did not speak on it.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say about it too, even talking about that the last time, like what people gotta understand, man, this stuff is how old? It's over 20 years old.
Yeah,
right?
96.
I done been in prison for 10 years in the process, you know what I'm saying, of all this going on, right? So it's kind of hard sometimes when you trying to recall stories, you just picking from your memory what you can remember. And I know like a lot of people out there, they take everything so literal into the head, but I was just piecing the story together how I remember.
How you recollected it,
You know what I'm
as
saying?
you should.
Yeah.
It don't mean everything is 100%. So.
Right.